And a good Friday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Phillies Fastball. Mike Gill, Jeff Kerr, Oscar Budejen. Guys, let's get right into this. The Phillies fought yesterday, but it wasn't enough. 9 straight losses. They find themselves getting ready for a series in Atlanta where they are 9.5 games behind the Braves. This is do or die. This weekend could end it. You get swept here, you're 12.5 games out of first place. But, boys, they fought hard. Let's see what you guys think about yesterday's game, because I actually think yesterday's loss may be a bad loss for them, and I want to get your opinions. Jeff, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, they fought hard, and, like we said before the show, I felt any punch the Cubs threw at them, they fought back. I mean, they rallied back several times. I thought Brandon Marsh had a tremendous game yesterday. That walk in the eighth, and he was 3 for 3, was incredible against the left-handed pitcher. I like the moves Rob Thompson made. He benched Bryce's stock for Raimundo Sosa. That move seemed to work out. He was very aggressive with his pitching. And again, we can talk about the pitching later, but I liked how the hitters fought. I liked how this team was able to do something. Yeah, Mike, I do agree with you. It's a gut-wrenching loss. It really, because you're trying to get a win in the worst way. And I think a win really could have propelled this team, but at least they showed something. They haven't shown anything before yesterday.
Oscar, they showed some life yesterday, but just 8 hits in the game, 7 runs. That's the most runs they scored in that I can remember in a long time. What did you think about that game? Was it an encouraging loss to you?
Yeah, I do believe that it was an encouraging loss. They came back 3 times from being behind in the score. Brandon March had one of the best games. He looked like the real deal Brandon March that we've been waiting for. I mean, he looks like a leader out there. I like the way he fought the lefty to get the base on balls. I mean, he did a tremendous job yesterday. But to me, coming back 3 times, I mean, Garcia hitting that home run, Mundito delivering the hit. It just, I mean, they show life. I mean, they show life at the end of the game. And they came back with a run in the 8th, a run in the 9th. Our pitching still, faltering. I mean, talking about faltering there. Sanchez with 12 hits, allowing 12 hits and 2 bases on ball, allowing 14 runners. That is a problem, in my opinion. Keller allowing that home run is unacceptable. Look, the pitching wasn't there, but I thought our hitting showed some life yesterday that they have not shown before. And the other thing, the bottom of the order was the one that delivered.
Well, I agree with pretty much everything you guys said. My problem with the game yesterday is twofold. One, you did fight back, and you still weren't good enough. That is almost more discouraging, I think, than anything is, man, what more do we have to do? And the biggest thing is, when I have my ace on the mound to get a stop for me and home runs, 12 hits, when I have a stopper, and he can't get the job done, what more do we need to do? If we can't win when Sanchez pitches, what more can we need to do? Then, you're right, they fight back in the game. I give them a lot of credit for that. But then you need a closer to step in there, and Banks, who you paid $22 million for, he proceeds to give up Keller. You paid $22 million, 2 years. Relievers don't get those kind of deals unless you are special. And he gives up a home run after you fight your way back. Sometimes you put in all the work and it doesn't come to fruition. That's a bigger punch to the gut than anything. So I'm very intrigued to see if they, in fact, fought back and this propels them, or if they fly to Atlanta and say, what do we need to do to get out of this? Because yesterday, that might have been their best punch, and it wasn't good enough.
You know what's still upsetting? I'm glad you guys both brought up Christopher Sanchez. I am so disappointed in this starting pitching. I've been harping on this all week, but come on. Like, they can barely get out of the 5th inning. I mean, he barely got out of the 5th inning, and he probably shouldn't have went in the 6th anyway. He kind of took one for the team there, but, 6 earned runs, like, this is supposed to be the backbone of your baseball team. You got highly paid starting pitchers on this team, from Aaron Nola to Christopher Sanchez to Jesus Luzardo. Zach Wheeler will be coming back this week. Taijuan Walker's gone, so he was another highly paid guy. Look, this just is not good enough. And
Jeff,
I know everybody.
The Phillies have not had a starting pitcher go past 6 innings the whole season. Not
That's
once.
insane.
I think
Not
Luzardo. No, I think Luzardo was not Luzardo, but Sanchez did it once. I think
I thought one of them did. It was early.
6.6 innings. I'll check it. But
Yeah. And you know what? Everybody likes to go to me. Oh, the FIP. Okay, I'll raise you the FIP with these guys can't get out of their own way, and whether it's defense or whether it's just lack of execution. Christopher Sanchez was not executing yesterday. That was the bottom line.
And he didn't execute his last start. He just hasn't been sharp. Look, Christopher Sanchez, he's one of my favorite pitchers to watch in all of baseball. I love watch a guy paint and use the changeup. Mm-hmm. It's just not there for him right now. He said yesterday the changeup was the only pitch he had. His ERA on the road is almost 7. The last 2 starts, he just has not been sharp. And when your team's struggling, like they are right now, and they are really scuffling, that's where the stopper has to come in. You can't give up 2 bombs, and the team is down again after, by the way, they got a lead early in that game. And, that's when you need your ace to kind of step up and be the ace. That, to me, is why it was a very gut-punching game for them yesterday.
Mike, when all your starters have allowed more hits than innings, that is extremely concerning. Christopher Sanchez, 33 innings, 44 hits, 10 base on balls. Painter, 18 innings, 21 hits. Aaron Nola, 26 innings, 29 hits. And Luzardo, 27 innings and 33 hits. That is a massive, massive problem because you're going to have the issue we have right now that, they have 10 more runners per game than you do. There's no way to win games that way.
No, there's not. And, by the way, Nola pitched into the 7th, but he got 1 out in the 7th inning. Sanchez has only pitched 6 innings. He has not gone past 6 in any starts this year. So, yeah, you're right, Jeff. You've been really – and I talked about this too. Josh and I on the show – he was talking about the offense is letting them down, and it is. I'm not letting them off the hook. But the pitching staff is where a lot of money is invested in this team, and you got to win a game like yesterday when you have your ace pitching. That's why I felt yesterday was actually more of a disappointment than it was encouraging, and I know a lot of people disagree with me on that.
Yeah, this is why I get so upset with the starting pitching because I was literally told this team is built by their starting pitching. The contracts say it. They have the talent. They are not performing up to their level. I think we all could decode there were going to be holes in this. We said a couple weeks ago, they don't have a cleanup hitter. So why is it surprising Dave Dombrowski says it, right? They didn't have a 4 hitter. They didn't have a 5 hitter. That's why they're rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic because they just don't have that type of player. They have the starting pitching. I saw someone got upset that they let go Ranger Suarez. I said, no, that was the right move because you had Andrew Painter. Maybe Jesus Luzardo should perform to a high level or Aaron Nola should perform to a high level because they're getting paid. Or Christopher Sanchez, again, yesterday was bad. He has been fine, but it's like you said, Mike, they need to be the stoppers right now. They need to get this team going. And because of their bad month, they're 8-17.
Well, and we brought this up a couple shows ago, Oscar. I'd like to get your opinion on this. We said, why not bring Sanchez back and then maybe use Luzardo to try to improve areas of this offense that you're really struggling with? Could Luzardo have been the guy that you used to try to get a right-handed bat or a little bit more offensive pop on this team, and you used the money that you gave to Luzardo to bring back a very popular player in Sanchez?
Look, I do believe Luzardo is going to be fine. He has the talent to do it.
But this isn't an indictment on Luzardo.
I get it.
Correct.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. There's going to be monies off the books after the season with Alec Bohm, 11 million, Castellanos, the $20 million, and then
Walker's contract,
and then Walker 17 million. So there's going to be
Alvarado too. That's $9 million. So that's a lot of money.
And then the other thing, how long you have to pay $42 million to Zach Wheeler? That's the other big question. When is Zach Wheeler? I know it's not going to be next year, but is he going to be here 2 more years? How long is Zach Wheeler going to be in this rotation?
Well, the contract does end after next year. So
you guys all remember Roy Halladay, how good he was until he wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have some concern that Wheeler becomes like Halladay was at the end of the line there, just not himself and just me? I'm going to be kind to Roy and say he was mediocre at best his last year or two. What anticipation do you guys have for Wheeler on Saturday night?
You know what, Mike? That's a good observation because, like, Roy Halladay in 2012, everybody likes to blame this team declining in 2012. You got to remember something. This front office did not think Roy Halladay was just going to fall off the face of the earth after having huge years in 2010, 2011. I certainly never felt that. I know they didn't.
Nobody did.
At least Zach Wheeler, you could kind of say, oh, well, he had this happen to him, so he may not be Zach Wheeler anymore. There was always that, I don't want to say fear, but that reality. So we don't know what we're going to get in Zach Wheeler. Are we going to get the Zach Wheeler? We're going to get the Zach Wheeler we've seen in these rehab stars. Zach Wheeler's a pitcher. He's going to get guys out.
I give him the benefit of the doubt. I think we need to give him the opportunity. We need to give him the benefit of the doubt. We don't know what version is going to come. We know the talent that he has. We know the makeup that he has. He has ace makeup. The question is, the team with a 5.58 ERA among starting pitching, 28th in baseball. Who could have thought that? This was the number 2 ERA team last year. We have a 5.58-28. Look, yesterday we lost. Our hitters did the job. Our pitching did not do the job yesterday for us to be able to win.
You know what, Oscar? If the starting pitching was as good as they were last year, I guarantee you this team is not 8-17. They're probably a game above 500 right now, even with
maybe around 800. I agree because our hitters have been completely awful all year. But do you
guys think that the Walker, decision yesterday, which I think we all agree was the right decision, and Topper, he said, listen, I want to get the message out there. What a great guy he was. He took the ball every time. He said in 2022 he really helped them. He I don't think the fans cared that he was a good guy or anything. He didn't get the job done. Do you think it opened up eyes in that clubhouse of because they didn't get this guy fired. He got himself fired because of his performance. But the fact that they acted on it, do you think that made any reverberations in the clubhouse?
I think it might have. I think it might have. Look, and like you kind of said, Mike, he kind of got himself fired. Look, they openly admitted they tried to trade him multiple times, including before the season. It's just no one wants this guy. It's he's not a starting pitcher. He's not really a reliever. He's just there. And now someone will probably want him because he'll make what? Maybe the major league minimum at that. So yeah, he might have value there as starting pitching depth. I don't see him coming back here. Definitely not. Yeah. But yeah, does it send a signal? I don't think so. I think the signal this week was maybe Felix Reyes batting cleanup.
Yeah, and that experiment. It's scary because he's hitting 200, but I don't think so either. I do believe that the writing was on the wall with Walker. He was on a very thin line, and it just basically brought. And look, you don't perform, you're not going to go. The problem is, outside of Walker, there's nothing. You can maybe do a reliever here and there, one of the bottom relievers, but there's not much where you can experiment. That's the reality of where things are.
I'm going to say this too, Oscar, and I tweeted this yesterday. I thought it was very telling during the game, and I know Rob Thompson was being aggressive, but you kept Brandon Marsh in against the lefty, and I know Brandon Marsh was hot, but you kept him in against the lefty, and we know how bad he is against lefties. We keep telling people how bad he is, but you kept him in, and he drew the walk. And then what did you do? Bryson Stott was coming up. You pulled him for Mundo Sosa right before the Cubs made the move. You pulled Bryson Stott.
And what happened?
And Sosa got a hit. That is the message to me. That is telling Bryson Stott, I do not trust you.
Yeah,
well,
to me, by the way, who's hot and who's not. More than
I agree.
Stott is definitely not playing well, and he needs to get his head together and start hitting the way he needs to hit. But to me, that was more. I trust March. March has been a better player over the last year than Stott hitting. Not defensively. Stott is
Oscar,
unbelievable second base.
Here's a good question for you. Do you think Brandon Marsh is the third best player on this offense right now? He might be.
I was going to say, is he? No, I was going to ask this question. Is he the best player on this offense right now? And if that's the problem, that's a bad problem. Brandon Marsh.
It's a good problem for the Phillies because they developed this guy, but you're right. Over in the totality of it, it's bad.
I've asked over the years, if Brandon Marsh is hitting fifth in your lineup, you are not a World Series contending team. He's a nice player. He's a platoon player. But if he's the guy that's and by the way, I anticipate if Reyes is out of the 4 hole, I don't think they're going to go back to that because yesterday, as I predicted, it was a day off for Garcia. Reyes stays there. Now you got to make the decision. And I would assume Marsh goes to the 4-hole, Schwarber back to the leadoff. Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Marsh is probably how they're going to have to play this because he has been, Jeff, their most consistent hitter.
I do believe that you have your top 3 hitters and everything else is like moving up and down depending on who is hot and who is not. Look.
It's a lot of red on that Trey Turner line there, Oscar.
Yeah, a lot of red.
We're going to pick on him a lot. We're going to pick on him a lot.
Yeah. Trey Turner, what he's doing right now, hitting-wise, 225, 288 on-base percentage, 5 doubles, 2 home runs, 621 OPS is unacceptable. I mean, that's about.
By the way, we're going to look at the totality of this, and I've been harping on him all week, but I got to give him some flowers. Alec Bohm has turned something around over the last couple of days because
defensively, he was incredible. The last 2 games, he's playing unbelievable defense there.
Yeah, let's get into. By the way, you talked about not hitting for Marsh in the game yesterday, but they did use Dylan Moore as a defensive guy, and he came up to hit in a spot, Oscar. What did you think about that at bat?
Was that an at bat? I mean,
yeah, that was an at bat. You know what? And again, this is where I'll own up too. And look, I've said, look, I'm speaking for the organization when I said this, why they picked Dylan Moore over Brian De La Cruz, but he's got to be somebody else, right?
Well, think about this. You get the home run to lead off that inning from Garcia, who, by the way, comes off the bench, gives you a home run. There you go. Then you get a walk. Then you get another walk, and here comes Harper. And you got Harper up with 2 on and nobody out. He lines out to right field, and then you got Dylan Moore. It has to be the guy that's your option in that spot because you didn't want to play Reyes in the outfield.
I mean, look, this team outside of the top 3 hitters and potentially March getting up there is questionable across the board. And you have more platoon players than you have starting players. That's kind of the bottom line outside of Ramuto, of course, because he's hurt and all that. And he's there for his defense right now, primarily more than he's hitting.
You know what, Oscar? Glad you pointed this out too. I get upset when people say, "Oh, this is what happens when you platoon." No, you have to platoon because you have platoon players. You have a platoon player in Brandon Marsh. You have a platoon player in Bryson Stott. You have a platoon player in
I'll take Crawford. I take Crawford over that list. I think Crawford's an everyday guy, but he's
let's just map this out for the record. Every team in the league is platooning people. They're all using analytics, and they're all platooning. You know, yes, their top 3 to 4 hitters play every day. But you know how many Yankee fans complain that Ben Rice doesn't play every single day for them? Yeah. You know, it's going on.
Here's the thing. The numbers tell you to play a Mundo Sosa against a left-handed pitcher. The guy had a 900 OPS against left-handed pitching last year. You play that guy. I mean, I don't need numbers or the book to tell me that. It's there. It's right in front of you. That's why they do it. I wish people would. They get mad when Rob Thompson says, look at the numbers on the back of a baseball card. Just go look up the numbers on Baseball Reference. You would agree with him.
Well, listen, I think a lot of people get mystified at why lefties have such trouble against lefties, but righties don't have as much trouble against right-handed pitching.
Look at the angle. Look at the arm slot.
There were 2 bats, 2 right-handed bats that you should have brought. One is Miguel Andujar, and the other one is Rev Schneider, the guy that used to play for the Red Sox. Those guys destroy left-handed pitching. Why aren't those guys in this team supporting? If you need to have the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th hitter, they need to be platoon in this. By the
way, Oscar, $4 million was Andujar? $4 million?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
You could have afforded that unless he really wanted playing time and knew he wasn't getting it here.
I mean, those are the guys that you needed to have here. And right now, I know you're trying to get camp and you're trying to develop camp. I get that part. But you're missing if 4, 5, 6, and 7 are platoon guys, you need to have the platoon. I get Mundito can be there for a start, but I mean you don't have anybody to go in and platoon for March or Baum at this point in time.
This is what I would want to ask Dave Dombrowski or someone high up in the front office, and I think I get an answer. Guys like you mentioned, Oscar. look at the Walker Buehler situation. He did not want to be here because he did not think he was going to get an opportunity here.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that was the case. It's like, look, we want to be with the Phillies, but are we not going to get the at-bats? Are we not going to get an opportunity to play every day because of Brandon Marsh, because of Otto Kemp, because of whoever, Alec Boehm, whoever it is? Like, we see the depth chart. We're not going to be a part of that depth chart. Are we going to be part of this team? I think that falls in the equation too. It's like, in a vacuum. And look, we just said it. Like, oh, it wasn't that much. They can afford that. You're right. They can't. But if I'm a player, I'm thinking the same thing. Do I want to play or do I want to win? And if I want to win, will I even be on that team when they win? They saw Whit Merrifield. They saw Max Kepler. It's pretty obvious. I mean, word goes around.
Yeah, Ref Snyder was 1 year, $6.25 million, and Andujar was 1 year, $4 million.
I like Ref Snyder, by the way. He's gotten off to a horrendous start with the Mariners. He's hitting .079
A lot of these
Seattle.
guys have. I mean, look at Bo Bichette. It's around the league.
Ronald Acuna, he's not hitting. I mean, Caminero. I mean, those are guys that, are superstars, and they're supposed to be hitting a lot more.
Before we get out today, I have a question as we go into the weekend. Here's the weekend setup against the Braves. Again, we talked about this last week, Oscar. You and I did the show by ourselves on Friday, and we asked
he abandoned us. I mean, incredible.
Yeah, I was driving. I apologize, boys.
Well, we said if you get swept, you're 6.5 games out. They ended up getting swept. They were 6.5 games out. That has now since gone to 9.5. If you get swept this time, you will be 12.5 games out before the calendar flips to May. The pitching matchups this weekend, by the way, very interesting setup. The Braves kind of flipped their pitching a little bit. Brad Elder is going to go tonight, and then you're not going to get.
I got to hear, Mike. Sorry.
All right, you're going to get Grant
so
Holmes.
They changed
excuse
it.
me. Grant Holmes is going to go tonight. Elder is now going to go Saturday, and Sale will go Sunday. You got Painter versus Holmes, Wheeler versus Elder, and Nola versus Sale.
Look at the ERA of Elder. 3-1 and 1.5 ERA.
I keep having Braves people tell me that's not sustainable. I'm like, I don't care. He's pitching really well for them right now.
Doesn't matter. When you look at these pitching matchup, guys, pitching matchup Monday, when we're back, what are we talking about?
Oh, God.
They lost the game to the Braves. I say they win a game this weekend, but they lose the series.
That would be my guess. That would be if I would have to bet. That's what I would say. We go 1-2, and we're going to be 10.5 games behind first place. Look, the numbers are beginning to tell you.
That'd be 11.5.
It's 11.5. History is telling us that this is going to be a very tough mountain to climb.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my
Can
last
you imagine,
question,
though, if they're 8-20 going into Monday's show, man, are we going to be? I mean, I don't want to say the season's over, but you're going to have to start thinking like, like Oscar said, not even a tough mountain to climb. They're climbing Everest at that point.
Oscar, can you go to the batting average slides for me real quick? Because I want to ask this question as we get out of here on this Friday Phillies Fastball segment. You see the batting averages, 225, 198, 221, 151, 209. There's five guys.
He's going through the lineup.
Right. There's 5 guys right now that are in the red. There's a couple guys, 261, 259, 261, 278. A lot of guys are cold, all at the same time. Do you anticipate a hot streak where all these guys get going at the same time? Or are these guys just not the same?
The weather. Check out the weather. I think this team will go as the weather goes. I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it.
Will it be too late?
Guys, it's been nice out. It hasn't been bitter cold, but a few games this year. That's the scary part about this.
Yeah, and Schwarber has not been. I mean, Schwarber batting average is now 198. I mean, it's
Schwarber's
a lot of strikeouts. 38 strikeouts for Schwarber.
Yeah. You know what? Schwarber is acting like he did, or hitting like he did 3 years ago when he had the 190 year, but he hit 40 home. By the way, if you're an old school baseball fan, I'm a mix of old school and new school, and I love Kyle Schwarber. I think Kyle Schwarber is a good player. But I'm telling you, man, this is unacceptable. I'm sorry. Someone who makes $30 million a year should never hit under 200. I mean, if he played 30 years ago, he wouldn't even have a job. I don't care what he hits.
All right, boys. Well, big weekend down in Atlanta. The Braves right now can put this division away, at least for the Phillies. I think if the Braves sweep this series, sayonara time for the Phils. They are 9.5 games back. By the way, they are
That's what I call optimism. Sayonara time.
They are a minus 51. The next closest team is the Royals at minus 35.
They are the worst team in baseball right now.
8-17 tied with Kansas City for the worst record, but a minus 51. Kansas City's a minus 35. They'll go into Atlanta right now, a plus 62 in run differential. 18-8 versus 8-17. We'll talk about it all on Monday. Guys, Oscar, Jeff, have a great weekend, fellas.
Phillies Weekly on Sunday night at 8 p.m. Looking forward to have you there. Have a great weekend. Thank you, guys.